Let's ring some steel. Gavin here from UltimateReloader.com. In this video, we're going to look at one of my favorite loads using a Barry's 147 grain plated bullet for 9mm Parabellum. And what we're going to do is we're going to shoot this CMMG Banshee, one of the funnest ARs you're going to shoot, chambered in 9mm with silencer co. Osprey 45. I'm going to show you the load. We're going to do some loading on a Dillon RL 1100, and then we're going to compare the results with my Glock 17 to see how our velocities are going to compare. So I just set up some new steel targets here. I've got a high-low situation going on. Let's see what this is going to look like. Now what's cool about this, I'm pretty protective about my ears, but I can actually do this without hearing protection because this suppressed 9mm load is so quiet. So if I happen to upon a hunting situation, couple of rounds, no problem. For a lot of firing on steel and just to protect my ears, I'm typically going to use Ear Pro. These Caldwell have active noise cancellation and amplification, and that just helps the experience. So I could do this all day. This is so much fun. Let's next go into the shop and we're going to take a look at this load and crank out some of this ammo. Are you feeling it? I am totally feeling it. This suppressed 9mm shooting is absolutely fun, and those two targets that I put up from DM Targets, did you hear how clearly they ring and how they're two different notes? I'm totally hooked on this shooting scenario. The CMMG Banshee 9 is wicked. The Glock 17 here, this custom Glock, we're going to see at the end of the video. Now what I also did is I shot over a chronograph. I wanted to see what kind of velocity I was getting out of the Banshee 9mm pistol. It turned out 10 shots sequentially had an average of 1,006 feet per second, just over that transonic to supersonic threshold. I could actually lower the velocity maybe to around 900 feet per second. That would be possible, but you know, I'll take the extra velocity. This load is tuned. I'll get to the load in just a minute. Let's talk about the equipment that I've got here. So first we've got the Dillon RL 1100. The RL 1100 is the successor to the Super 1050. This is an 8-station progressive reloading press. This is in that sort of prosumer category. Most inexpensive reloading presses are kind of consumer quality. This is prosumer. You can load hundreds of thousands of rounds per year on this to support your competitive shooting endeavors if that's what you want to do. There are people that run these for commercial ammunition production as well. This is a hardcore machine and it works really, really well. I've also got some double Alpha Academy gear. I've got the magnetic powder check. I really like this because of how flexible it is. It's easy to set up. You don't get false alarms when you're running up the press with no cases in the stations, and it just works really well. I've also got the Mr. Bullet Feeder for 9mm. Mr. Bullet Feeder is super good quality. I've gotten to know their system. It takes a little bit of tweaking of all of the individual adjustments to go from rifle to pistol, different bullets, different profiles. But once you learn how it works, how to adjust the plates and the flip over guide and all that stuff, it becomes routine. And when you get it dialed, it just runs and runs and runs. It's got the special drop system with ball bearings, and it's just kind of made for large-scale production type environments. It is easy to set up and adjust, so that helps. Now, Because of that, I've got the seating and crimping combined in station number 8. If you're not running a powder check or not running a bullet feeder, then you can have separate seating and crimping, but I chose to set up the stations in this way. You're going to want to check out my RL1100 unboxing video, and then I've got the complete setup for this particular loading configuration that I'm using here as well. Also from Double Alpha Academy, I'm using Primafill. I just did a video on all of the Double Alpha primer handling products, except their flip tray. I'm going to try that. And this is economical, works for large and small primers. It's semi-automated. It's got the vibratory system for getting all the primers to flow and to drop into the tubes. These are the new Double Alpha tubes. You can get these with a rack. You can load them all and have them sitting on the wall, ready to go. If I was going to load a whole bunch, I would go with Primer Pro. It works with 9mm. It's small primers only. Lots of good options there. So at a high level, that's the overview of the gear that we're using here for loading. Now, in terms of the load itself, we've got Hodgdon CFE pistol. This is pretty much my go-to powder for all of the common pistol calibers, like 9mm, like 45 ACP. We've got Barry's 9mm, 147 grain plated bullets. These are economical, which is good because once you start shooting the suppressed 9mm, you're going to burn up a ton of ammo. We've got Federal small pistol primers. This is going to be the biggest challenge right now. I'm just going to acknowledge that right out in front here. I know you all are having trouble getting primers. I feel your pain. I've been working on reserves for the last couple years. So we've got 4.2 grains of powder. We've got Lapua cases. I did a Creedmoor special on that we're using. They had a rare import of Lapua 9mm cases, so we've got ultra premium cases there. And I'm running about 1.150 inches for cartridge overall length. Of course, one thing that's really important to do is to check your ammo in a gauge. I'm using the L.E. Wilson case gauge for 9mm. You're going to want to see that drop all the way in. If it doesn't drop all the way in, it's likely that you need to adjust your crimp, for instance, a taper crimp or maybe a factory crimp die, something like that, to make sure if it's going to drop in your case gauge, you know it's going to drop into your chamber. Okay, so all that load data I just talked about, just treat that as reference. Don't use the data directly. Always check with multiple component manufacturers' load data to make sure that you're safe for your firearm. Okay, next we're going to load full progressive 9. So let's talk station utilization. Station number 1 here is case insertion. Station number 2, sizing to priming. Station number 3, hold down and swaging. Station number 4, priming. Station number 5, powder charge. Station number 6, powder check. Station number 7, bullet feed. And station number 8 is seating and crimping combined. Kind of a lot going on at once, but once we get this set up, we can basically crank out ammo all day long. Okay, and we could go on and on and on all day like this. This is great. Now let's try out the Glock. Okay, so here we are with the same shooting setup. I've got my raced out Glock 17. This has got an aftermarket threaded barrel. It's got a ghost trigger set up. It's got the extended slide lock and release. It's a really good pistol, and what I like about the Osprey 45, I just took this off the Banshee, is it's got this clocking lever. So what we do is we tighten it down. I'm just going to drop the slide. We're good there. And then when we release the locking lever here for the clocking, we can just get it perfectly clocked how we want it and then lock it again. Pretty cool. So I've got a mag of ammo here. Let's ring some steel. That's pretty cool. That is too much fun. So here's where I'm at. I absolutely love this load. I absolutely love this Glock 17 and this CMMG Banshee shooting suppressed 9mm. I'm totally hooked. Like seriously, if I want to go shoot real quick, I'm going to grab one of these and I'm going to shoot some steel out in front of the shop. I'm feeling better. And here's what I found out. This is, at the beginning I talked about chronograph data for the CMMG Banshee, right? And we were at about 1,006 feet per second. Well, I did the same test with the Glock 17, same suppressor, same load, and you know what it came in at? Right just about at 1,003. That was a little bit of a surprise. I thought I'd be at like 950 or something, you know, about 50 feet per second down, but no, within about 3 feet per second. That is what I call crazy. It could be that the additional barrel length will get you additional velocity to an extent, and then we've got additional friction, so we're losing a little bit with even more barrel length. I don't even know. I'm gonna have to look at this in Gordon's reloading tool and see if I can figure out this result scientifically. We'll see. Okay, so I hope you had fun watching me shoot and watching me load. This is a completely killer setup. If you don't have a suppressor and you have a 9mm, it's time to think about one. That's what I have to say about this matter. These berries, 147 grain plated bullets, are economical. They work well. They work especially well for subsonic shooting, which is why I wanted to feature them and use them for this particular load and this story. Here's my question for you is, what subsonic loads are you running for 9mm? What load, what components, and what firearm, what suppressor are you using? Drop a comment and we'll start a discussion. I've got to get back to loading, so that means it's time to conclude this video, and that means it's time to wrap it up. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Also, make your voice heard. If you have something to say, please drop a comment. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications because you're not going to want to miss the awesome content that is coming up. And finally, flex your reloading pride. You could look great in one of these t-shirts. We've got multiple designs at the Ultimate Reloader store. I'll see you later because I'm off to go shooting.